But if we're going to ignore the societal problems and broken families and all of the degradation of the culture and all of that and just scapegoat the police, you will get nothing out of this hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. George Floyd's death was senseless and tragic. I grieve for the Floyd family and look forward to justice being served. My heart also goes out to the family of Patrick Underwood, and I thank both of you for being here under these difficult circumstances. Yes, there are a few officers who are attracted to the uniform for the wrong reasons, who want the authority of carrying a badge and a gun but can't handle the responsibility. Some have anger issues, some mental health issues. But the bad cops are an extremely small percentage of the police officers in this country. And there's another side of the story. For 25 years, I prosecuted criminals working closely with great police officers and federal agents. Yes, I prosecuted and convicted some officers. But I also was at the bedside of officers after they had been shot trying to help someone. I've attended funerals for officers killed because they had the courage to wear the badge and do their job. I've been in the hospital trying to comfort one of my employees who learned just moments before of the death of her husband, a sheriff's deputy killed in the line of duty. Don't blame the police. It takes a special kind of courage to protect those who can't protect themselves, who care so much for their community they are willing to risk their lives to save others. When there is gunfire, violence, conflict, a few brave men and women wearing blue uniforms run toward the danger while others run away. Don't blame the police because they didn't create the policies that cause crime. And we all know the root causes of crime. Some don't like to admit their role in the breakdown of our society, but the people watching this hearing know. We commit a grave injustice to those who have died at the hands of police and those who have died at the hands of violent criminals if we don't deal with the root causes of crime. A comprehensive bill, as was discussed earlier, must recognize the societal impact of single-parent families, of substance abuse, of mental health issues, of a failed education system, and of transnational gangs. Defunding the police or otherwise handcuffing the police has its consequences. After the death of Freddie Gray in Baltimore, the police were severely restricted by the mayor and the Obama Department of Justice. In May 2015 alone, the month after 6 officers were charged for crimes a jury found that they did not commit, Baltimore saw 43 homicides, the city's deadliest month in 40 years. A New York Times investigation found that Baltimore ended 2015 with 342 homicides, a 62% increase from 2014. Let me repeat that. After Baltimore police were prevented from doing their jobs, the city suffered a 62% increase in homicides. There are also indirect consequences to restricting police enforcement. In 2017, Baltimore had 692 opioid deaths to go along with the 342 homicides. Chicago recently saw its most violent day in 6 decades. 18 people were killed on May 31st. While police were responding to riots downtown, residents of Chicago saw firsthand what happens when police are absent from the neighborhoods. To achieve justice for all, we should support investing in police protection in our most vulnerable neighborhoods, and we need to change the policies destroying our cities. Let's agree to empower good police officers to continue to protect and serve. Everyone deserves to be safe and secure in their home, on their way to work, walking to school, or throwing a ball in the park. Don't blame the police for our breakdown in society. They are doing their best to clean up the mess caused by politicians. Mr. Bongino, your thoughts about the causes of crime and the role of our police in this country.
I read an interesting op-ed about 4 or 5 years ago, and in the opinion piece, they compared and contrasted 2 different areas of the country. One that voted largely for Mitt Romney in the election versus Barack Obama. One that voted largely for Barack Obama. It was an inner city in one case and an Appalachian region in the other case. Both considered failed by many measures: high crime, poor economy, poor healthcare outcomes. And what's interesting is it wasn't the voting patterns. It was the deeper patterns you're talking about there. Broken families, drug use, lax law enforcement. If we ignore that, and believe me, I am not in any way suggesting accountability for police and reforms are not necessarily, I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe that. But if we're going to ignore the societal problems and broken families and all of the degradation of the culture and all of that and just scapegoat the police, you will get nothing out of this hearing. You won't see one act of real change. You may get some sound bites, you may get some votes, but you're not going to see a darn thing change.
What I hear you saying is it'll be counterproductive.
It will absolutely be counterproductive. You will see nothing.
The time of the gentleman has expired. Ms. Bass?